We just kicked off the NFL season this weekend and it's already just becoming a disaster. I mean, BYU struggled on the offense on Saturday and Falcons lost at the final minutes because we couldn't play defense and Younghoe Koo missed the field goal. I'll talk about the NFL tomorrow as far as week 1 is concerned. Right now, we got to do some college football. It's going to be kind of a short one, to be quite honest with you. So without further ado, let's get to it. Welcome back to Grizzly Talks Football. I'm Riz. Ladies and gentlemen, we got week 2 college football reactions. To the shock of everybody, not many really games to react to because I think you see why later. But if you still have not found the playlist to season 2, make sure you check the description. I'll have that link out there. And you'll be able to watch every episode so you're all caught up, and you also have it for future episodes whenever they come out. Do not forget to hit the red subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss a single one of my videos, and it also helps the channel a lot. Without further delay, let's go react to some week 2 college football games. A little bit of a short one because we didn't have very many ranked versus ranks, and there was only like a few upsets out there. Kicking things off though, we got Baylor upsetting SMU in Dallas. Like low-key, this was a really good game, like between both of these teams. You know, Kevin Jennings and Sawyer Robertson balled out. I mean, it was basically optional defense in this game because this was when 93 points were scored. Now, another impressive performance by Sawyer Robertson. He had Josh Cameron for 2 touchdowns. Bryson Washington got it going as well with 2 touchdowns of his own. Can't forget SMU's running back Harden with 3 touchdowns. Kevin Jennings with 3 touchdown passes with 300 yards. 2 of them going to Princeton. I'm telling you, Baylor's a scary team in the Big 12 to watch out for. I believe SMU was up 14 at some point in the 4th quarter, and they just blew their lead, and Baylor ended up winning the game 48-45 in double overtime. The guy to blame? SMU's kicker. He was 1 of 4 on the game. Yikes. Hey, don't get me wrong, buddy. I would be 0-6 as well. So you're not the only one who would have a bad performance in Dallas. Hopefully your card doesn't get vandalized or something. I just needed to add a few more games, but here's one that was a very low-scoring game, to be honest. Iowa State against Iowa. The battle for the Cyhawk only had 29 points scored, and it was won by those Cyclones, 16-13 in the final minutes. Pretty sloppy game, to be quite honest with you, for the most part. Ruckabeth had the only touchdown pass of the 2 quarterbacks. Warnowski, yikes, not great. It's the same old Iowa, and unfortunately, their coach is not getting any younger. Not really much to talk about this game, to be quite honest with you. Also, we got Georgia. Really? Nate Frazier had to carry all. You couldn't score more than 28 points against Austin Peay? Get dropped to the rankings, you frauds. You better approve this right now, because you got Tennessee next week. And I'm going to be honest with you. Their offense is looking nice. Their defense, that's for debate. Oh yeah, another thing. What the hell happened to Clemson? They were like down 16-0, maybe 16-3 in the first half. All of a sudden, they want to come back in the second half. Let me just say, this is unacceptable. Don't you ever do that again, Dabo. Next up, we got South Florida going against Florida, with the Bulls putting out the upset. But let me tell you, Byron Brown to Kevin Singleton, I mean, that connection, it's there. It's really there. They actually ended up getting a safety in this game as well, so that's why it was 18-16. If it wasn't for that safety, it would have been a tied game, so defense definitely came in clutch at that point. For Florida, the only turnover of the game was courtesy of a DJ Lockway interception. Also with the fact that on that final drive where the Bulls used to kick a field goal to win the game, Florida was just so undisciplined defensively. They had a guy spit in man's face again. Why are you learning from Bill Romanowski and Jalen Carter, bro? Let me tell you, Nick Saban would have absolutely berated him and made him sprint until he threw up or died if he did that. Sorry, I'm still thinking about Nick Saban because that guy is a great coach. But anyways, 2 ranked wins in a row for South Florida. I see you, Bulls. Okay, we absolutely overrated LSU. 23-7? It's not as bad as the Georgia-Austin Peay game, but come on, 23 points on Louisiana Tech. Really? We should have known. It was a Brian Kelly-led team. We should have known this whole time. They were frauds. Also, the final ranked versus unranked game I wanted to discuss was Mississippi State getting the upset in Starkville over number 12 Arizona State. Like, the Sun Devils' new running back Brown had 110 yards. Like, they were able to move the football. It was just the fact that turnover was just killers. They had 2 of them in the game. And also in the final minutes, the defense was able to get the job done. And Shapen to Thompson, ooh, that's a great connection. 3 touchdowns for Shapen, 2 of them going to Thompson. That's going to be a good connection out of the SEC. Is Mississippi State football back? There was also one more game I wanted to discuss, well, just a little bit. There was also one unranked versus unranked game that I wanted to discuss as well. But this was the only ranked versus ranked matchup, Michigan and Oklahoma pretty much dominated the entire game. I know it says Michigan only allowed an 11-point loss to Oklahoma, but if we look at the entire thing, yeah, Oklahoma was just all over the entire Wolverines defense and also their offense as well. Like, don't get me wrong, Venables is a good defensive-minded coach. He has a great defense. It's just sometimes his offenses kind of lack. That was until we saw a guy by the name of John Mateer get 3 total touchdowns and almost 350 yards total. Deion Burks was a 100-yard receiver with a touchdown throw as well. A touchdown catch. Justice Haynes scored the only touchdown for Michigan. They just could not find an answer for the Sooners. Yeah, there was one final game I wanted to discuss before we head into the AP poll, and that was the border war between Kansas and Missouri. Let me tell you, this game was great. Bo Pribula, 3 touchdown passes. I mean, that guy could be a dom. Maybe better than Brady Cook? Yeah, probably not. Jalen Daniels is still good. My gosh. Just a shame that Kansas just could not muster up a big win. Missouri gets the win. It goes to 2-0. Kansas still 2-1. I still think they'll make a bowl game or some sort. Great offensive battle, and it was won by the Tigers. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we present to you the Week 3 AP poll. Let's take a look at it. At the top 5, we got Ohio State, Penn State, LSU, Oregon, and Miami. Ohio State won 70-0 against Grambling State. Always nice to beat up on an FCS school. You do not have to do them boys like that. Same with you, Penn State, with the FIU situation. LSU already discussed you. I don't know what the hell that was. Oregon completely decimated Oklahoma State 69-3 as well. And also Miami, you did not have to do Bethune Cookman like that. For upcoming games, Ohio State has to play Ohio Bobcats, who just got a win over West Virginia. Penn State plays lowly Villanova. LSU has to play Florida at home. Oregon has to play Northwestern in the Big Noon Kickoff at Hudson Stadium. Or is it Northwestern? I can't remember. Oh, nope, it's in Evanston. And Miami has to play South Florida. More on that later on. 6-10, we got Georgia, Texas, Notre Dame fighting the Illini and FSU. Georgia clearly struggled against Austin Peay for some stupid reason. They got Tennessee next week on College Game Day. Texas blew out San Jose State. Notre Dame was on bye. Illinois beat up on Duke for like 45-19. And FSU won 77-3 against the FCS school. Already said College Game Day was Georgia, Tennessee in Knoxville. Texas has to play UTEP, which is in El Paso. Notre Dame actually has to play Texas A&M for their first rank versus rank, or their second one in 3 weeks. Illinois has to play 0-2 Western Michigan, and FSU, actually they got a bye, you lucky bastards. 11-15, South Carolina, Clemson, Oklahoma, Iowa State, and Tennessee. For some reason, South Carolina dropped a spot behind FSU. They did dominate their game 38-10 against South Carolina State. They did struggle early on from what I saw. Clemson, I don't know what the hell that was against Troy. It was like 27-16. That was pitiful. Oklahoma got a ranked versus ranked win against the Wolverines of Michigan on College Game Day. Iowa State survived Iowa in a Big Noon Kickoff for the 16-13 win, and Tennessee beat up on another team. This time it was East Tennessee State. Already mentioned the College Game Day in Knoxville. South Carolina has to play a 2-0 Vanderbilt, who just won over Virginia Tech again. In fact, they dominated them. Clemson has a road game in Atlanta against the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Oklahoma goes on the road to play Temple. Should be an easy dub there. And Iowa State plays Missouri. That's interesting. I'm just kidding. They're playing Arkansas State. Wait. They're playing on the road against Arkansas State. Why? For the top 15, honestly, I'm not terribly mad at it. I mean, South Carolina should still be in the top 10 in my opinion instead of Illinois, but whatever. And also, I feel like LSU should be behind Oregon and Miami. I guess you could throw Georgia in that mix too. Now we're moving on to the final 10. 16 through 20, we got Texas A&M, Ole Miss, South Florida, Bama, and Utah. South Florida making their first appearance in the AP poll since, I believe, 2017. Texas A&M blew out UTSA in their first game. Just this past Saturday, they were able to blow out Utah State. Ole Miss survived a close game in Lexington against the Kentucky Wildcats 30-23. The fact they were able to survive that kind of road test against the team that beat them last year, huge for them. I still think Lane Kiffin's a fraud. As you heard before, South Florida was able to pull an upset against the Florida Gators. Knocked them right out of the rankings, as you could tell. Bama actually beat up on poor Louisiana Monroe. I think the score was 73-0. And finally, Utah beat up on Cal Poly 63-9. Both of y'all, you did not have to do them like that. Like I said before, Texas A&M is going against the Irish of Notre Dame. Ole Miss have a home game against Arkansas and could be tough. South Florida has a tougher game against the Miami Hurricanes, who were number 5. Alabama plays at home against Wisconsin. Should be an easy win. I mean, Wisconsin had that little fun being 2-0, but I think it's going to come crashing down. And finally, Utah has a road game, actually, against the Wyoming Cowboys. I think Utah should honestly be ahead of Alabama, but, you know, it's whatever. It's brand bias. It really doesn't matter. And then we got our final 5. We got Texas Tech, Indiana, Michigan, Auburn, and Missouri. USF, Auburn, and Mizzou are the new teams in the top 25 because Arizona State, Florida, and SMU all dropped out. Texas Tech beat up on poor Kent State 62-14. You do not have to do them like that. Same with you, Indiana. Yeah, I didn't forget what you did against Kansas State. Of course, we had Michigan losing against Oklahoma in that college game day. Of course, Missouri won the border war like I just mentioned. And Auburn beat up on poor Ball State. Did not have to do them like that. Indiana has a Friday night game against Indiana State. Should be an easy dub. Texas Tech has a home game against the Beavers of Oregon State. Michigan has a home game in the Big House against the Chippewas of Central Michigan. Should be an easy win there, to be quite honest with you. Auburn plays home to South Alabama. And finally, Missouri, if I can take a look, they play the Raging Cajuns at home. You know, I feel like maybe Arizona State could have stayed in there. Maybe Mississippi State could have been considered for the top 25. But, hey, that's not my call. And that is it for the Week 3 AP poll reactions. And also upcoming games. Good luck. Now on to the predictions for Week 3. First up, we have the big noon kickoff game, which is going to be in Evanston, Illinois. It's Oregon against Northwestern. Oregon is 27.5-point favorites. I think Oregon's going to cover and also beat Northwestern. Sorry, Wildcats, you guys suck. Up next, we got the game in Knoxville between Georgia and Tennessee. Here's a fun fact. Georgia has not lost to Tennessee since 2017. Their last loss was actually 2016 when Josh Dobbs was the quarterback for Tennessee. That was also when Jacob Eason was Georgia's quarterback before, Jake Fromm came in and led Georgia to its first national title game in a very long time. In that case, I'm picking Georgia to win this one. Next up, we got a ranked versus ranked matchup between South Florida and Miami. Miami is 16.5-point favorites. Unfortunately, the dream season, I would believe, is going to be over. But here's the catch. You remember 2007? South Florida was 18th when they played number 5, West Virginia. South Florida won that game. I gotta be honest, this 5 versus 18 matchup for South Florida could benefit them. But I'm going to pick the Canes. And the final ranked versus ranked matchup is Texas A&M against Notre Dame. Sure, Notre Dame has one loss, but they are 6.5-point favorites, and the Irish, I would believe, is going to beat the Aggies. Sorry, Texas A&M, you're a little bit ways away from contending in the SEC. Or you're going to be stuck in 8-4 land all the time. So, you saw my last Superdog pick. It was a total flop. Indiana, yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. I thought you guys were going to suck, but you proved me wrong, at least for now. But my Superdome for Week 3, it's going to be a little bit more simpler. It's Georgia Tech going against Clemson. They were downtown Atlanta. Clemson did not look good against Troy. the writing's in the air for a potential streak breaker for the Yellow Jackets. Go Sting 'em. That'll do it for my picks for Week 3. Good luck in Saturday and also Friday if you're in Indiana. And that'll do it for this episode of Grizzly Talks Football. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you give this a big thumbs up. Hit the red subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single one of my videos. This is the Grizzly signing off for now, and until next time, I will see you guys later. Peace and love. Keep the Grizzly vibes with you at all times. Take care.